Whoa. Are we live? Yes, we are. Welcome back, nerds and turds, to another live stream repair. We've got a pretty easy night here tonight, which is good because I need all the time I can get here. Let's see, we've got John and Jameson. So I think we'll go ahead and pick John's first here and let them know that we've got their HomePod and we're going to dive right on into this. Dum, 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 dum. Let's see, we have located their email. So they've got death farts. Let's get their name and status on the screen there. There we go. Let's let them know. Okay. Notified. Live. Let's get this unboxed. I've somehow misplaced all of my knives. Okay. Let's see what we've got. So with death farts, that's always caused by DC offset. And usually with DC offset, you've got a pretty loud popping sound after it turns on and wakes up and when it turns off. So we're going to check and see if that's the case here. We always like to sanity check things before we jump on into it. Ooh. Yeah. I'm going to go ahead and guess 450 millivolts. Let's get this thing apart and see what's actually going on. Where's my chat? Why is my chat not working? Let me refresh my page. Oh, there we go. Nice. Checking to make sure the woofer is still good, especially considering the problems it's coming in for. Voice coil looks good, feels nice and smooth, and it smells good still. So that's a happy little woofer. Hello, Seth. Welcome back to another stream. Was wondering how often you find obvious evidence of someone else making even decent attempts at a repair. Okay, so I will say it's obvious to me as soon as I go to start prying the top off if it's ever been opened before or not. And then it's usually easy for me to tell if somebody else has done it, because 9 times out of 10 other people don't really reheat both the display and the top before sticking them back on, so they don't stick back together very well, so it's a lot easier to pry off. That said, nobody's actually tried to slide a HomePod past me that they've tried to fix without telling us. We've certainly had a handful come into the channel here that have had prior repair attempts, but they let us know what they had tried, and we all pretty much knew what we were getting ourselves into. There was one repair that we did for somebody. It must have been almost a year ago by now, and I'll always remember them. Because it was a bit of back and forth to get them up and going again. But basically, I can't remember. They sent their HomePod in for some typical issue, and we got it fixed. And when we sent it back to them, I can't remember if it worked fine. I think it worked for like a month or so. And then it started rattling whenever the bass hit. So I was like, okay, here's a shipping label. Go ahead and send it back in. I'll take a look and get it fixed back up for you. When we got it, as soon as I started taking it apart, I didn't notice anything weird with the display or the top piece. But the drawstrings were put back together. They were wound up against the posts in an X pattern. And I never, and you can check every single live stream I've ever done, I've never ever done an X pattern to wrap these drawstrings onto the posts here. So right away I was like, someone else has been in here. So after we got the display out, I then noticed that this ring was not properly reinstalled. Instead of twisting it to let it fall into place and then lining it up with the ribbon cable, you see now you can't pull it out. It's actually sitting lower when it's properly installed. What they had done is they had just simply put it in there like that, which means this sits much higher, this sits much higher, and then you don't have a proper seal. So I went ahead and found the source of the rattle, which was really strange. It was coming from somewhere in the actual plastic shell itself. I ripped out every single component in the thing, and I still couldn't figure it out. So I just replaced the whole shell. and got it working fine again for him. Sent it back. Asked, hey, by the way, I noticed somebody else tried taking this apart and didn't put it back together correctly. And yeah, sure enough, it was their kid's HomePod, and they were trying to do the repairs because they saw me doing it, and they thought that was pretty neat. They could try it themselves. They wanted to take it apart and try to fix the rattling themselves, and did not do the best job putting it back together when I think they got as far as the bass speaker, and they said, nah, never mind, I'm not doing this. Which is strange, because they got past, like, the hardest part. Anyways, so I sent it back to them again, fixed up, nope, not rattling anymore. And I think it was a few weeks later they reached back out again saying it started rattling again, which makes no sense. At this point, there's nothing original in that HomePod except for the logic board. Everything else has been replaced in that thing at that point. So I figure, I don't know what to figure. I honestly don't know. But I was like, hey, let me know. I can send it back again. We'll figure this out. I never heard back from him. I think I just think that they didn't want to feel like they were taking advantage of me, because I was covering shipping back and forth each way, which doesn't bother me. I'd rather figure an issue with one-off stuff like this. I'm more than happy to eat a little bit of cost here and there to get to the bottom of something that could potentially affect more people, especially. But like, if I'm doing repairs for others and then somebody starts having an issue, it's obviously concerning to me what caused that issue, and if it's anything to do with anything we're doing here or anything we can do to prevent. So yeah, not really had anybody try to slide anything like that by, except for that one, which honestly seemed more like a case of they just forgot to mention it. Because honestly, from the outside, you wouldn't have been able to tell that it was put back together improperly. Oh, except for the fact that the mesh was not lining up properly, so it did look kind of off, but that's okay. First things first, we're going to check our DC offset. Just confirm that's where our farts are coming from and how bad this is, so we get an idea how much better we got it when we do our fixes. Quite a bit of a pop. Wait for the setup tone to settle down. We've got 500 millivolts. So my guess was 600, or my guess was 450. That's right. That was pretty close. Oy. All right. Hello, Jeff. Welcome, welcome. I had fiber, but it broke. So I signed back up for Comcast because it's going to take the fiber like a week or two at least to come and get it fixed. So for now, we've got Comcast again, which seems to be working perfectly fine. Granted, we only have 40 up, but it's plenty for. It's plenty when we're mindful of that. I do like to take advantage of everything I've got, be it the red line in my car or the speed of my home network connection. So right now I've got like the 24/7 D-Brick live stream running at a lower quality than it normally would if we were on a fiber. Same with our normal stream here. I've only got it running at, well, only Only 15,000, I think. Okay, iron is warmed up. Oh yeah, I've probably got the preset set pretty fast right now. Oh no, I gotta set the balanced. I'm not an uber pro at that kind of stuff, but there's always, if you have any suggestions, I'm always open to them. Just for the record, the monitor that I use to watch all the camera, like the monitor that I use for OBS, right? It's an old like 27-inch Apple Cinema display, like the pre-aluminum. We're talking like the transparent plastic. Still looks pretty freaking good. But I'm sure it does not help with the amount of heat this room puts out. It's got a dedicated power brick that's like bigger than my hand. Okay. The deed has been done. The original problem should be fixed. And then we're going to replace our Schottky barrier diode. That's the guy that typically fails and causes no power issues. This one in particular, does it have a date code known to fail? No, it's got 1736K. So that's a fair bit older than what we normally see fail. But we're going to replace it anyways. Yeah, it has the Apple Display connector. I have the big box that makes it DVI. You have a cube? I've got a cube. I love my cube. I'm afraid to run my cube. I don't want to break it. I need to take the power supply apart and recap it. Ooh, that would make some good content. So much content in so little time. Oh, we almost made it to Friday. Yeah, that's a good point. The older stuff is just simpler. It's more, it's more robust. It's less prone to failure because there's less to fail. In combination with using a bunch of often very cheap parts these days. The two go hand in hand, in my opinion. Oh! That was a big bump. Okay. Yeah, she said yeah. She's starting to talk now. She hasn't said any words, but she's trying. We just had her 2-month checkup today, and she is perfectly on target, 50 percentile for development. Looking good. Perhaps, just like this HomePod. I still use the first MacBook Air every day. I need to get my hands on a first gen MacBook Air because I remember when those first came out, of course, as many do. I still use a 2015 MacBook Air. It seems to work pretty well. Look at that. Around 22 millivolts of offset, which is below the 50 millivolt target that we like to keep it under, and significantly better than the 500 that we saw before our repairs. No significant popping after unplugging it from power, so this one's ready to put back together. Okay, got the door closed, so that should help a little bit with the sound. And maybe we'll blow up and get real big and then be able to get like a studio. That'd be cool. I'd be fine with getting a house and making like a soundproof room though. Then we can yell at our HomePods while we're fixing them. They don't deserve it, but... Oh yeah, dude. Of course. Crank the music. That's like the primary reason right there. I've always wanted a soundproofed room. I don't want to bother other people. I just want to go deaf. I do not. Oh yeah, I saw the photos of the Z that you sent me. Those look at Z-Man. And that color. Perfect for the time. Perfect for that car. I've got multiple dream cars. I'd like to have a DeLorean. I'd like to have a Porsche Spider. I'd like to have a Lamborghini Countach. I did actually manage to somehow get one of my dream cars, which was a 1959 Chevrolet Impala. That my grandpa he's a mobile vet, so he pretty much knows the whole town where he's at, and he somehow managed to get his hands on that thing, and gave it to me as a Christmas present a few years ago, and they've been working at restoring it. GTR. See, I keep going. I'm very into. I definitely a GTR or a Nissan Skyline of some sort. I can't decide which one exactly that I would want though. Screw it, all of them. I want one of all of them. I even want that. I think it was like the 50th anniversary GTR. That's like the matte gray and gold. When my wife and I were in Japan for our honeymoon, I actually got to see that in person at Nissan. I didn't even realize what I was walking into, or really where we were, other than I saw the big Nissan logo and I was like, ooh, Nissan, I like Nissan. Let's go in. Alright, stupid check. Power supply's in, screwed in place, everything's plugged in. We're good to go. Yeah, you hear that? You guys hear that? Something's not sealing right. And I'm willing to bet it's the gasket for the ribbon cable right here. Instead of having to unscrew all this and take it back out, we can just kind of gently tuck that back into place and see if that fixes it. No, it does not. Is our subwoofer bent? Did we forget the gasket? No, we put the gasket in there. Huh. Well, let's take the subwoofer back out. I suppose the gasket for it may not be good anymore. That is one of the downsides to using the alcohol to assist with prying the basket up, is it will weaken that gasket. Just gotta be careful with it. Let's just make sure this is not... Yeah, that looks straight. And I didn't hear anything with any problems with it sealing when we took it apart. Oh, but yeah. No, it's definitely the gasket for the ribbon cable here. You can see one side of it's higher than the other side. So must have just not gotten it in there all the way still. Let's try that again. What the heck? It's not coming from there. Sounds like it's coming from here. Oh, interesting. That's interesting. You will see what I'm talking about here in a sec. What the heck? It's not the woofer. It's not the gasket for the woofer or the ribbon cable. It's not the gasket for this ring here either, or the gasket for any of these screws. But instead, what the hell? Now I see. Oh, now I see how goobered up this thing is. And there's no way this was us because we didn't even get that far as putting the basket back on here yet. This came from the factory like this. This is what it should look like. You've got a screw, you've got a hole, you've got another hole. But instead here we've got a screw, a hole, and then 2 holes. They started putting the screw in, said whoops, backed it out, and then put it back in again. Which of course resulted in the tiniest of holes. But a hole nonetheless that should not be there, allowing air to escape. Now, I think with everything else on there, it would probably seal well enough where it might not be a problem, but we're not gonna play those games. I've got too many of these sitting around to not just go ahead and replace it. Nice. I love a good, fun little mystery, especially when we can figure it out. It's close to those, that adhesive is close to those holes, but the adhesive doesn't quite reach any of them. So adhesive or no adhesive, it wouldn't have made a difference. And yeah, I really soaked this gasket trying to find where that was coming from. So we'll go ahead and replace that. Sadly, I've got way more of these gaskets than I do working woofers at this point. As we start to lose availability of OEM parts for HomePods, we're going to need to start exploring alternatives. And by that I mean rip the guts out, put in some other Bluetooth and AirPlay capable amp that fits inside, and stop worrying about them breaking themselves or farting themselves to death. What do we got now? Oh, you gotta be kidding me. That hole in the ring from the that we replaced was definitely a problem, but there's just what the heck. Oh, I'm being stupid. I didn't put the screws back in for this ring. Yeah, of course. We need those. Making sure all the screws have their gaskets. All right. Don't you love fixing one problem only to create another one in the process that produces the exact same symptoms? I'm just happy we didn't waste any time on that. It's pretty obvious. SEAS or scan speak. Oh. I will be consulting them. Okay. There we go. Alright, you goofy goober, let's go. Alright, if people like Wilson are going to these people, are they gonna be interested in some small fry like me getting them to do a custom run of maybe a couple hundred bass speakers? Or would they actually like resell these and like list them as an actual product for others to sell? I guess that's up for whoever I talk to decide. Yeah, that makes sense. Ooh, yes. No, I got my hands on some, I think they were 3-inch Avery discs. I think they were made to be like CD labels or something. Texture-wise, they were perfect because I found a matte set and a glossy set, so people could choose between matte or glossy. But they just, for some reason, stick like absolute shit. Bubbles galore. Impossible to... I don't know why they don't play nice with this. Oh. Ooh, wouldn't it be cool to like get D-brand to make like a skin for the top that makes it transparent?
I'm having trouble connecting.
All right. Looks good. Sounds good. Pretty good. Let's get the second one fixed. This one's from Jameson. Let's see what's wrong with it. No power. Easy peasy. Let's see. Cool. Looks like a pretty standard no power repair. Nothing special. here we have it. Let's, of course, check our symptoms. No power. Kilowatt says 4 to 6 watts of power draw. So this looks to be the typical no power diode repair. Let's get it apart and find out. Ooh, that was close. I need to go on Amazon and get those like thumb to index gloves. Save myself from slicing. Sailor's sewing gloves, that's what they're called. Good. Okay. I would have probably wasted a lot of time trying to figure out what those were called. Okay. 1746K for our diode. And it is dead. So, pretty easy fix for this one with no power. Let's get that diode replaced. We'll see if this board turns on. Our pile of dead diodes is growing out of control. Alright, let's see what this has got. Hey, we got power. And we got base with only a couple millivolts of offset. Looks good, sounds good, ready to put together. Kids crying, cats are romping around. Everyone's going. Oh yeah, sorry if I sound a little slow. I only got like an hour of sleep yesterday. Not in a bed. On accident. Status is always at the top right there. We're just putting it back together now. Also, welcome to the stream. Glad you could make it. Oh, well, we will see, won't we? We shall see. Spoiler alert, yes. Anybody fix relationships? Nah, just throw it away and buy a new one. And sticking the top on, we'll be all done. See if it works. We got some power. What do we got?
I'm having trouble connecting to the internet.
Very good.
I'm having trouble connecting.
Very good. Folks, we got everything that we needed to fixed up today. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment down below and or check out the website, nixfix.com, at the bottom right there. You'll find a common issues section with steps on how to fix any of the issues that we know how to fix here, as well as any of the parts and tools that you may need to do that. We've also got our contact info if instead of trying it yourself, you'd rather send it in to be fixed here on the channel. In any case, hope you all enjoy.